Yo, Bo, welcome to another episode of In the Life of MightyFan. We have some lid pickups in this episode. I do have a fair share of jerseys to go over that I've been grabbing, including a very special one, and I will make that video, I would say, on the weekend. So be on the lookout for that one then. So this is the lids portion, and we're gonna do the jerseys portion in the next vid. I just thought it'd be too much to show in just the one vid, so I'm gonna separate it. So be on the lookout for that. And I know today is game day for my Philadelphia Eagles as they take on the Vikings. And I will do a recap vid for the Season of the Fan series as we get into the weekend too. I just feel it would be better to do it that way, and instead of just kind of slapping together a vid tonight about the game and whatnot. I'll just, we'll let this game play out tonight, Thursday Night Football, Eagles home opener, and we'll see how things go. Hopefully, it's a win for my birds, and then, we'll dissect it and talk a bit about it on the weekend, and we'll get back into that then. So as I said, I have some lids here. I have some hats. Of course, always adding hats as I'm always adding jerseys. You get the hats because they go with jerseys, and you get jerseys because why not? That's what's there. So that's the passion, right? So let's get into this. This one was oh goodness, this was an eBay pickup. This was I did miss out on this one. This was available by a few sites, and then a seller had a bunch of these available. I think they were on either Poshmark or McCarthy. They blend together, those two. So it was one of the two. And I never did make the move on it. And actually, I got this cheaper than I would have paid for it anyhow. So it all worked out in the end. But we got the New Jersey Nets hat right there, the white dome. But I always like this, the logo with the gradient logo and the, next to it. It does have a draft logo on the other side. So it was part of that set that Mitchell Ness put out a few years ago. But you got the green under, Mitchell Ness on the back. So, we'll go with a few Nets jerseys in the collection. So why not? And I always like that logo. I always like the state of New Jersey Nets logo. So the state of New Jersey, I'm blanking on the word. State of New Jersey outline. This Hat Club's had a really good year. I have to say, Hat Club for me, for hat. Oh, you know what? I forgot a hat upstairs. I'll bring that when I show the jerseys. Hat Club to me has had one of the best years for hat buying. And again, it's personal opinion. I think some other hat giants may have taken a bit of a step back this year. I don't think it was a great year for lids. I mean, they put out a few decent, sets, but overall, I haven't been blown away by a lot of what they've been doing, but it is what it is. It's each his own, right? But I like Hat Club, and I like the fact that Hat Club kind of gave me a chance to re-get some hats that I missed out on before, such as the Dion and another hat that I left upstairs. But they've also put out some pretty decent hats for football, and I think they in recent weeks they put out some big hitters in my opinion. And this is one of those that I've had the jerseys for a while, and I always wanted to see this as the side patch because this logo you just don't see on a lot of hats for this particular team. So we got the Falcons, the two-tone right here. You got the black dome with the red brim, red squatchy, the tonal eyelids, but it's got the silver anniversary season on the patch on the side, the 25th anniversary that they wore in 1990. So Mitchell Ness made Dion and they made Jesse Tuggle from the 1990 season with the big patch on the shoulder. I still wish they made the white ones too. I still wish they made the away the away jerseys for that too, because that patch would pop on those too. But so they made the home black for both of those. So this hat is the perfect hook for them. I know Mitchell and Ness years ago, they did a series of snapback hats with whatever the anniversary patches were or whatever, like patches that go with some of the football jerseys they've made, and they put the patch on the front of the hat. I have a few of those, but this one, this is perfect to me because it's two-tone. It's got the old Falcon logo big and bold on the front, and it's got the big patch on the side for the silver anniversary NFL shield on the back. So I think they hit this one out of the park. Good green under, the black gut, but which I like too. I'm happy it's not a white gut, but really like that, and that's going to go perfect for those jerseys. This was an Insta grab. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. So big shout out to my buddy Big Slim for hooking me up with this one. This is the Marlins, the Pinstripe Collection. I guess 2.0 because they came out with these last year too, but this one is different than what they put out last year because I think for the Marlins last year they did World Series side patches. So here is the one. Here's the elusive one that never hit my area. The Lids store exclusive Pinstripe Collection Marlins. So this goes with my home authentic Gary Sheffield Marlins 1993 jersey. It does have the inaugural on the sleeve. There it is on the side of the hat. Batterman. You got the white dome with the pinstripes going on, the black squatchy. You got the the good green under. Black gut again, which I like, particularly for white hats. The big wordmark Florida across the front, just like it would be on the front of the jersey. Perfect hook for that jersey. And this one drove me nuts because I couldn't. The Marlins hats never hit this area, even though I think this is one of the best from that set. And they never hit this area. I looked in other areas. I looked in other states. I looked in goodness, where Massachusetts, I believe, was where the Lids was. When I was visiting, we had that get together for the the hall, the Naismith with all the fellas there. I looked in Lids in Maryland when I was visiting with Slim. None had them. None got the Marlins in. So Slim took a trip to Florida. It just happened. And I asked him, while you're there, I sent him a picture of the hat so he knew which one I wanted. And he was nice enough to find it when he went to a Lids there. And, there it is. And actually, it was cool also of the Lids, the store, the worker in there, because I FaceTimed with Slim when he was at the Lids, and I gave him my Lids club member information, so I got we got the discount on it. So actually a little extra discount because I had a $10 reward. So yeah, so Slim, big shout out again to you. Thanks for the hat assist. It was just so crazy. It was like, I'm in Florida, I'm looking for a hat for you. But I knew that they would have it because obviously the Marlins are one of their state's teams, so it seems to be regional with these Lids exclusives. Besides, if it's like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Astros, they're like in every single Lids. But the other hats just depend on where you are. Right here it would be the Phillies. In Maryland, it was the Orioles and the Nationals, right? The Red Sox up in Massachusetts. Is what it is. But and then up next here, this was for my most recent visit to Maryland. There's a Pro Image there. Shout out to the Pro Image at Run Mills Mall, and they had this one, which I did want to get years ago, and I never did. It's just one of those that, best laid plans. I wanted to get, and it was gone in my size, right? So the Pro Image had this, the two-tone Packers, but what I like best about this is that it's a Super Bowl patch, one of my all-time favorite Super Bowl logos, which was not on the jersey, because back then they didn't have the logos on for the teams that went to the Super Bowl after Super Bowl 25 until Oh goodness, what was it? Was it the Broncos? Speaking of Packers, I think the very next year, the Broncos Packers, and if they could have just worn the, I mean, because I would be all over both those jerseys, but the Packers and Patriots, because I love that logo for Super Bowl 31. But right, 31, I think, if I know my Roman numerals. So, but anyhow, yeah, of course the Packers won that one in New Orleans against the Patriots. It's amazing because you see Adam Vinatieri in that game. And in fact, he was the one that kicked off, and then you had the Desmond Howard return for touchdown. That was Vinatieri. And all those years later, he's kicking the game winner for the Patriots' first Super Bowl title. And then he kicked a few more. But it's just amazing when you think about how long a career he had. And all the way with the Colts and winning a title with the Colts, too. It's like, my goodness, that guy hung around forever. Good gray on the bottom. You got the black gut. You do have the New Era flag logo, the NFL shield, squatchy right there. Yellow squatchy, two-tone. But again, this is what made the hat for me, was that right there. I don't have a jersey from that season, but I think I will still wear it with some Packer jerseys. You know, Favre or something, or Reggie White or something. You know, players who were on that team. Ah, man, I still wish they put that on the jersey, though. God, that would have been beautiful. But it is what it is. What could have been. So this was a eBay pickup. In fact, it was one of those when I put it in my watch list and then the seller made an offer, and it was, I couldn't refuse it. So made an offer I couldn't refuse. So you got another two-tone here, the Denver Broncos. Goes with a lot of Bronco jerseys in the collection. Actually, Slim alerted me to this hat. And like no sooner that I put it in my, my items watch list or whatever, the seller makes an offer, and it was like, yeah, it was already somewhat cheap, and I got just a bit more cheap. So, two-tone Mitchell Ness fitted, NFL shield, old school Bronco logo, Mitchell Ness on the back, blue squatchy. There it is. Just that tonal blue for the lid, for the brim, black gut on the inside. Somewhat older hat by Mitchell Ness. This is older, though. This one just... The funny thing is, I wanted this hat even more when I saw Slim wearing it. And I'm like, man, I got to find one. And as luck happened, like the very next week, I find one on eBay. So we got another one of those helmet hats from back in the day from Mitchell Ness. The New York Jets of the 80s. So obviously this goes with like, Gastineau and Klecko and all those. And you can even wear it with like the 90s, because this is the helmet they had in the 90s too. So you can wear that with Booma or with Ronnie Lott, the 94 jerseys. The white on the bottom of the brim. Oh man, I love these hats. I only have a handful. From this set, but they just go perfectly with all the football jerseys from back then, from whatever teams they represent. I don't have the Eagles. I should, but I never got I never got it back in the day. It's like, and then years later, like, oh yeah, I want to get these, and over time, you see them every now and then. They don't pop up as often, and I was like floored when I saw this. I'm like, ooh. And it was one of those sellers that had the full run of sizes, but like almost all of them were sold out. There was only one left in the size I can wear, or at least one size left I can wear. I'm like, oh, I better move on this. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't pricey. And last but certainly not least, Noble North. So every year they come out with their Sneaky Blinders collection. Where's playoff Peaky Blinders, right? But this year they did a 2-pack. So they did I did forget to bring that hat down. I was going to show it has like the fox on the front, right? With the bat and everything, with like, with the Jeff cap and everything on, right? And that's like the logo they go with, right? So this year they came out with that one, and they always do a different colorway every year. I got the one from like 2 years ago. That was the first one I got. And now this year they came out with two of them. So they did the regular Fox logo one, and then they did this one. So it's the N with the foxtail. So Noble North, based in Canada. You stay classy, Canada. So here it is. This is the alternate hat that they came out with. The foxtail. You got the nice, kind of burnt orange under. Look at that. That's beautiful. So New Era is the tonal flag, all black on the dome and on the top of the brim. So it's like representing the night sky or whatever, right? And then on the back, which is what I really liked, you have the fox right there you see the Jeff cap on him. So he's just kind of running around at night or whatever. On the back, I thought that looked really nice. Nice little touch by them. Noble North always does a nice job with their hats. I don't have a lot. I only really have the Sneaky Blinders hats, but and to give this the seal of approval and to inspect this, we have Festive, who's coming off a bad week for the Festive 4, going 1-3 in the initial Festive crunching numbers for this week. Don't you, Festive? Your thoughts? Do you approve of how they got the foxtail? Yeah, the foxtail there. Do you approve of the foxtail Festive? I know you're anxious to model the hat on Instagram. Festive likes to do that with fox hats. Festive even has perfected the look away, shot. So Festive's doing the look away right now. But no, Festive, your thoughts? Is this no, it's the approval. That's right, because there's the Festive on the back. Look at that, very, very interesting. The hat. Let's see if this might be a little big on. Oh my! Oh, Festive styling. Look at this. Noble North. You have a new model. You didn't know that, did you? Look at that, huh? Who better to model the Sneaky Blinders collection year to year than Festive? I mean, that gets it done. Festive can even do the look down shot. Oh, look at that. With the hat even slightly askew. That's right. That's good job, Festive. Oh my goodness. No, but yeah, the Sneaky Blinders 2023 edition, and with the alternate foxtail Noble North logo on the front. Very nice. Very nice. Nice job again by our friends from the North, right? So there is the set of hats that I have accumulated, sans the one that I left up in the second floor. But I will bring that down when I show the jerseys on the weekend. And like I said, we'll have another episode of Season of the Fan on the weekend as well. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to bringing you more Eagles goodness. And we'll see what happens tonight against Minnesota. Should be a good game. I mean, you have two potent offenses going at it, and the Vikings. They don't look forward to coming. Philly when it's on their schedule. Philly has not been a very kind place to the Vikings in recent years, and you just know that Jefferson wants to make up from last season's poor performance when Slay was on him like a rug on a wooden floor. But it should be a good game. And, it's early in the season. It's almost like September is like an extension of preseason in a way. You see so many ugly, how many games this past weekend were just, that's not NFL football. But because it's like an extension of the preseason. The first few weeks, they're still feeling out. They're still, once you start getting rolling into October, November, then you start, you start to see these teams go on a roll, right? You start to see the talent really show up on some of these teams, right? So it's going to be fun. I always look forward to football season, of course. And, with the Eagles, obviously, always. And college football is fun, too. College football, I know they talked about expanding the playoffs. I'm for that. I wouldn't say go too crazy with the expansion, but I do think there should be more teams in. I think that just makes it more fun, and you get to that November December games, and now you're looking at teams trying to fight for playoff spots, and I think that just makes it better. Honestly. Um, but I've enjoyed the college football season to this point too. I think Coach Prime, doing what he's doing in Colorado, his son, of course, lighting the world on fire the first few weeks. So there's some exciting storylines going on in college football. I usually have my eyes more towards the local teams, and the Gators have not been very good. Let's just call it what it is. It's been pretty shameful. It needs to get better. The swamp, it needs to get better in the swamp, and hopefully one of these years it will. But it's fun. It's football, and there's so much of it. The cool thing I think about, like, when you get to once you start to get into Friday night, Saturday, and you have all these games on all these different channels. Oh God, you just sit there like a slug, and you're just going through it. Waistline expands a little more during those months too. Well, who am I kidding, right? But there's so many good games on, and then you got the NFL. Of course, the Eagles takes priority, but whatever other games are going on, right? Slim was over the weekend. We watched the Eagles game. We watched some other games, and of course, then Monday night, boy, we saw all 4 plays of Aaron Rodgers as a Jet. That was unexpected. That was. I feel bad. Jet fans can't catch a break, it seems. It's like all this excitement going into the season with Aaron Rodgers. He's out there, and then he's not. And they won the game. It was an exciting finish, right? A punt return touchdown in overtime over one of the Hard Knock stars, the guy that just made the team at the end. Him and his buddy, the 2 receivers. But exciting. But, and of course, me being the Eagles fan, I'm sitting there going, yeah, but they played Dallas this week. It would have been better if Aaron was quarterback. Because he owns Dallas. And now it's the Wilson show there. I'm like, no. Oh, my goodness. So we'll see. But it's been the storylines are always going to be there with the NFL. That's just they're just king for a reason. They just keep going. My Phillies, though, they need to start getting back in the winning ways. It's tight in the wild card race. I was at that game last night. For the gabillionth time, the Braves won the division and celebrated on our field. And the Phillies, the class organization that they are, they put up a little thing on the jumbotron there, congratulating the Braves for winning the NL East title. It hasn't set well with some of us. They're like, no, what are you doing? They're a division rival. What are we congratulating them for? It's old hat anyhow. They win the damn thing every year. They shouldn't even celebrate. It's like golf clap. Oh, you won the division again. Congratulations. Now do something. As the Braves seem to win the division every year, and then they go to the playoffs and they kind of fall on their face. Most years, anyhow. I know they won the World Series a few years ago, but most years it ends like it did last year when the Phillies got them. And the bat spike and the inside the park home run. And Acuna Jr. chasing after the ball not very well. He kind of gave up on it. He said, Mr. MVP this season, yeah. So we'll see. The best team doesn't always win. In fact, in baseball, more times than not, the best team doesn't win. So, we'll see. There's a lot of great regular season records, and then you get to the playoffs, it's a whole nother animal. So we'll see. Atlanta has a great team. They do, and I have a lot of respect for how they built that team. I wish the Phillies would scout a little, some ways, and maybe get one of the guys from Atlanta to come here and help scout, get some of those players. But they've done a tremendous job, and they've earned it. They're just that good. And then you have other teams playing well, but again, it's not always the best team in the regular season. It's the team that comes on in the playoffs like we did last year until ran into that Houston buzzsaw. But you know, it is what it is. So we're hoping the Phillies can start turning it around. You know, they got a winnable series this weekend against the Cardinals. I say winnable, but you know the Cardinals in the back of their mind remember what happened to them last season at home when the last time the Phillies were in St. Louis. So I'm sure we're going to get maybe some of their better efforts, this weekend. So we'll have to see. And then they take on the Braves again. We just can't stay away from them for some reason. But they've already locked it up. But I don't believe the Braves are going to power it down because they know, right? You do that, you're asking for trouble going into the playoffs, right? You want to still be playing at a peak, and particularly now when you have the wild card and the two top seeds have a bye. They don't even play for like a week. It's weird, right? And that may have been what got some of those teams last year, right? Because it was the first year they did that. So we'll see, right? So the Braves, I don't expect any easy games from them next week in Atlanta. I think they play the Cubs though coming up, and that they could help us. The Braves can go from an enemy to an alliance. Because the Cubs are right behind the Phillies for the wild card, so we need to the Cubbies. Hey, I mean this time of year, I don't take any series for granted because the Cubs went to Colorado, and Colorado is horrible, as they usually are. They go to Colorado, and they lost that series, so Colorado did us a favor. But then the Phillies had some big comebacks against the Braves, but they couldn't finish them. They went to extra innings and lost. Like, no, you're supposed to finish the job. No, we're not going to finish the job. We're going to let them win. Okay. So the Phillies couldn't take advantage. But it's just one of those weird kind of weeks because when we lose, the Cubs, like Phillies lose, the Cubs lose. And then you got a couple of teams trying to, for that third spot. You got the Diamondbacks, the Giants, the Reds, the Marlins. They're all still. And I thought at least one or two of those teams would have fallen off by now, particularly those Gabe Kapler Giants. But, they've found a second wind. But, we'll see how that goes. I think they play the Dodgers again. That might not knock old Gaby out of it. But, we'll see. We'll see, right? And then the Phillies have a lot of games against the Mets. I mean, not for nothing. All the Mets are going to want to do is play spoiler. They know the Mets and Phillies play each other. It's I don't take anything for granted then. And then they have one series against the Pirates at home. So I think the way the rest of the season goes, they go to St. Louis, they go to Atlanta, and then they come back in to take on the Mets and the Pirates, and then they go to Citi Field to end the season for a 3-game set, I believe, in Flushing, New York, right, to end the season. But hopefully by then they would have at least locked the playoff spot up. It doesn't come down to that series. I always worry with that kind of thing. I've been a Phillies fan for too long. If it comes down to the last set, and I know it did last year, it came down to that series in Houston. They just had to win one game, and they did. And then they played those buggers again in the World Series, and they lost. But I always just don't want it to come down to the last series. I don't, particularly if it's on the road. I don't want it to come down to that, right? Now, it might still come down to that last series to see if they get the number 1 wild card spot, which I would love, because then they would have the 2 games at home. But you just know the Phillies are never going to do it easy. It's never going to be easy for them. It's easy for the Braves to win the division every year, right? It's easy for the Dodgers to win or some of these other the charm teams. But some of us have to go through agita, right? Now, those fan bases have to go through agita in the playoffs. I get that. But regular season, no, the Phillies aren't going to wrap things up early. It's going to come down to that last week to wrap up a playoff spot, hopefully, and then to get that number 1 seed in the way. It's going to come down to the last series against the Mets. You know this is how it's going to go. It's like we've seen this movie. We know this is how it goes. They'll stumble against games they shouldn't stumble. Somehow the Pirates will get hot for a few days. As they did when the Phillies played them in Pittsburgh. Somehow, some way, the Pirates got hot and the Phillies booted the ball all over the place in that series. It's like the two teams reversed. The Phillies became the Pirates became the Phillies for a few days. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but we'll see. I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm not. I do believe they'll make the playoffs, but where they'll be in the wild card spot in the playoffs, that has to be determined. But I think they'll make it, but we're going to have to wait to see where they are in the wild card round. So it is what it is. Like I said, it can't be easy. Nothing's ever easy here. It's not. It's agita all the time. But fun though. I love this time of year. This is when we start to get the MightyFans time of year, right? The weather's finally cooling off. That's good. The humidities are starting to go away. That's a good thing. You got the playoff chase, the hunt for Red October right again. Now that's starting to heat up, right? You got the football coming, the college, the NFL, the Eagles, of course, and that's and then a month is Halloween. So you can't really ask for much better right now. I can't believe the year's almost over. My goodness, where'd it go? It flew by. Always does. Always does. But at any rate, 31 minutes of joy. Like I said, had some lids here. You saw those. Did a little chit-chat as I usually do. Shout outs to all. Again, for the continued support of the channel. I know there's some series I haven't really been keeping up with. The weekend review series for Fanatics and for Mitchell and Ness. And I don't know if I'll film that tomorrow, but maybe we'll get back into that next week. I know there's been some jerseys of conversation this week. The Mitchell and Ness, for whatever reason, decided it's time to do hand warmer quarterback jerseys. So they made a 1994 Dan Marino, the white jersey, which is supposed to represent the fake spike game against the Jets in the Meadowlands, where he fake spiked it and threw for a touchdown. That rivalry that is, right? Hated rivalry, so Marino wanted to, do a little extra after they were already winning. Or maybe that one. I forget what the situation was. But I know that he did a fake spike throw for touchdown, and that caught the Jets off guard and the Dolphins, And Mitchell and Ness wanted to recreate that jersey. Now, they already made the 94 Marinos. They made the home and away and all the throwbacks, everything. They made every single Marino jersey from 94 back in back years ago. I have them, so I know. But but for that game, for whatever reason, the 75th anniversary patch either fell off or something happened. Or he got a new jersey and it didn't have the patch on it. Something happened, right? So that's why when you see that jersey on the site and it says 1994, but there's no NFL 75th anniversary patch, but it's from that game and that fake spike moment. And when that moment happened, he wore a jersey that didn't have the NFL 75th patch on there for whatever reason, right? And that's what they wanted to show. So the talk around the community has been, well, okay, if you're going to do that, why not put on the jock tag that it put the date of the game, or even put fake spike, whatever, so that people know that this is the semblance of this jersey. Mitchell and Ness has done that from time to time. They've done it with all-star games. They've done it with maybe a special game for a player or whatever, right? I know they did it many years ago for the Jets when they made the Joe Namath white jersey and they put on the tag Super Bowl III, because that's the jersey it was supposed to represent. The Jets wore the white jersey that day against the Baltimore Colts wearing their blue jerseys, right? And, of course, that's one of the famous Super Bowls, the guarantee. Joe Namath going off the field with the number 1 sign up, right? Wearing that white jersey. And, of course, so Mitchell, when they made that jersey, old run of it, they put Super Bowl III on the tag. So for this Marino, for whatever reason, so that was part of it. And then they did it with the hand warmers. Now, if you're not really familiar with that, so you know today's right in football, they have that almost looks like a fanny pack, and they put their hands in it, right, and it warms the hands. So back then they didn't do that. They actually had like pockets in the material of the jersey where the quarterback could put the hands in to warm them during cold games, to keep the hands warm. Mitchell Ness has never done this before, so this is like something new. Let's try this. So they made the 94 Merino, and I didn't know this at first, but the 93 Boomer Esiason, they're going to be new releases with the pockets in the jersey, in the front of the jersey. And it looks really strange. And we're all trying to figure, why in the world would they do that? And, there's been talk that, well, this is why they're not consistent, because they'll do that, but I know Snacks, they don't do the yoke sleeves. And that's understood. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, why don't they do if you're going to go partly into it, let's go all the way, right? So I got to thinking, and I'm like, you know what, this is a Pandora's box. This could really get interesting in not a good way for Mitchell Ness's football jerseys. Because what if they decide to go all out? I mean, what if they start putting pads in these jerseys? You imagine walking around looking like Herman Munster from the Munsters wearing these jerseys? So at some point they're going to put a neck roll. From the 80s and the 70s, the neck roll. They're gonna put a neck roll on one of these. You know that's coming. You know that the neck roll is going to come on these. They're doing hand warmers. They're doing this and that. The neck roll or the pads. And I'm talking about the old 80s, the big pads, the 80s. So you're going to put this thing on. It's going to look like a Halloween costume at some point. I haven't seen these jerseys, obviously. I'll probably see them at the store at some point. I'll give them a look, just out of curiosity. What the heck is this? And the Boomer, I was just, because the Boomer, when I saw it on their site, and it's not available yet. It's just one of those. It's almost, it's get this damn site. I don't understand why, to this day, they still haven't changed it. Got some new site or whatever. They put jerseys in the new releases that aren't available yet, but it's almost like a preview. Like, well, you can't buy it, but here it is, right? If you want to get it down the road, we're showing it to you now. There should be a preview section. If you're going to do that, don't put it out there as a new release if you can't buy the damn thing, right? But you can see the Merino and you can see the Esiason. When I saw the 93 Esiason, it was one of those ooh moments, because I always kind of wanted them to make the green 90s Jet jersey. The only two they ever made prior to this was the 94 white, the away jerseys for Esiason and Ronnie Lott. And the green one just pops. Like, I like that green, It's the Eagles fan, I know. But the only one they've done has been the Legacy rookie Keyshawn Johnson, which is basically the same kind of deal with the jersey. So they finally make a 90s authentic green Jets Boomer Esiason jersey with a beautiful patch. And the patch is what caught my eye. I saw that, I'm like, oh, because I'm, like a moth to flames when you get the patch involved. Woo, Nice 93. It was the 25th anniversary of Super Bowl III. Nice big patch on there. And so I didn't even notice the damn hand warmers. And then yesterday, it came up in conversation, and I'm like, oh, they have hand warmers on that one too. But I just, and it was like, damn, I did want to get that, but I don't know if I'll do the hand warmers. That might be a little much. But they made it. And technically, it's accurate because it's a quarterback. They had those in there. Mitchell Ness has never done this before. It's something they're doing. But they're not going all the way with it, because there's still things about the jerseys that aren't historically accurate. But it is what it is. And I do agree with that. I mean, if you're going to go with one aspect, why not do the whole jersey with everything the way it looked like, back in those days? Yeah, it is what it is. It's. I think Mitchell Ness takes chances. And, look, to their credit, they noticed something about the jersey that probably not a lot of people would have wanted, but they're like, well, let's try it. I hope it's not a trend. Because it's almost like a kangaroo pouch jersey. Like, what? Why? No one asked for this, Mitchell. No, the Jersey head community didn't say, back in the 90s, they used to have these pockets on the jersey that the quarterback would put their hands in. Let's get those made. No. But again, I you know what? I would be lying if I said at least I won't look at it, because I'll look at it. The other thing about the Boomer that I didn't even notice until I went back and looked at it, I mean, the jock tag looks really strange because it's part of the hand warmer material. It's like on there, and at least the picture doesn't look good. But again, the pictures, again, like I said before, they usually go with smaller size jerseys for whatever reason. And so the jock tag always looks strange on like every Mitchell and Ness jersey that they have the pictures of, because they're smaller, so it's just I don't know. But the hand warmers, they're trying something. I'm sure people will buy it. I don't think I'm going to get. I can't imagine me getting the hand warmer jerseys, but they're trying something. But yeah, that was so that's been a big topic of conversation within the Jersey Heads community. Like, what are these? And now people are saying, well, now they need to go all the way with them, because they used to make these like way back in the day. The old days, they would have like these like onesie looking things. They would have a strap on the bottom. It was, and they're like, this is the next step. Now they have to do them like this. No, don't do them like that. Don't do it. Don't do it dirty. But pads and the neck roll, I know that's coming. That's coming. They didn't say it, but we know. They're gonna make a linebacker jersey with the neck roll. We know. And the pads, the big box pads, and the neck roll. Oh, you just know that eventually is gonna come. You know it. Can you imagine the price on those? If they actually do something like that, I don't think there's any way I would buy it. I can't imagine what the price of something like that would be. You, too, could really look like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone who wore a neck roll back in the day. Like, did Youngblood wear a neck roll? I know there was quite a few players. Maybe some of those 85 Bears. I think I saw at least one or two guys with a neck roll back then. I know Ike Reese wore a neck roll, when he played with the Eagles. There you go. They'll make an Ike Reese Eagles jersey with with the pads and the neck roll. At number 58 jersey with the. And I know all of you are looking at me. Well, you're an Eagle fan. You have all the. I know you're going to get that one. The neck roll. Oh no, I just don't think. As big a fan, I don't know if that would, even if it's just one part of the collection, I don't know. That might be going a little too far, I think. Plus, I can't imagine what they'll charge for that kind of thing with the full. And then they'll get some aspect of it wrong. They'll do all that, and they won't do the sleeves right, or the material will be off. There'll be some. Don't worry about the big pads and the neck roll. It'll be something with the material. The material will be off. Oh, of course it is. Oh, my goodness. Helmets. You're gonna have a helmet. You're gonna have like the full uniform eventually. They're gonna sell the pants, everything. It's the belt. It's all gonna come. Oh my goodness! I mean, because where else? The gloves. You're gonna get the gloves. You're gonna get the wraps, right? Remember the old wraps? They looked like they had clubs. They're gonna wrap. Oh my goodness. You're gonna have like the the Jack Lambert, wraps going with the Jack Lambert jersey. Oh my. Anyhow, that look, we're having too much fun. So we gotta stop now. But yeah, so that was the topic. The hand warmer jerseys, Dan Marino 94, 93 boomer size, and I I don't know about that. I may have to film it though at some point. I'll have to go to the store and film it just so people can see what the heck this thing what it looks like. I'm telling, I'm not buying it. No, no, that's not MightyFan. But I have to get video of this at some point. I have to go to the store at some point when they're out and document this thing because inquiring minds want to know. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Ugh. So anyhow, so that was the big topic this week within the community. But yeah, that series, the Fanatics, the Mitchell and Ness week in review. We'll probably try to get back to that next week. Also, the Ross vlogs. I'd like to get back into that. That was fun, although the damn music. It almost ruins it, because I want to show instant reaction to this stuff, and they have some dumb song playing over on the speaker overhead. And I'm like, God damn it, it's copyright. So I still have to find a way to kind of film so I'm not, stepping on toes in the music industry, right? But we're gonna try to get back to that series next week. It's been a minute since I've been to Ross, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what new has come in, right? Try to document that a little bit. So I'll probably get back into that next week. And obviously the Season of the Fan series, like I said, we're gonna do the next one this weekend. Obviously the game's tonight, but we're gonna get back into I'll do. I keep saying will. It's me. I'll do. It's like a production. I'll do a recap. This coming weekend, and I also have the jersey pickup vid coming this weekend as well. So be on the lookout for that. And other than that, I think that covered all the bases. So yeah. So thanks to all once again for all the support to the channel. It's fun. I do this because I have a passion for this stuff, but I also have fun with it. And at the end of the day, there's too many things to stress on. But it's nice to have something where you can have fun. And in collecting is fun for me. And making these videos here on YouTube is fun for me. Doing what I do, though I know it's not as much, but doing what I do on Instagram, that's fun for me. Being a part of the community is fun for me. And I know, like anything else, like any family, there's going to be times of up and down, but it's still something that I get a lot of joy out of, and it's something I'm just, I'll always be around. That's not stopping anytime soon. I'm a collector. This is what I do, and I know it's a large collection. There's a lot there. There's more that keeps getting added, but it's because I have a great love of it, and this is what I do. It's my niche in the world, and make these goofy videos where I talk too much. But it is what it is. But I always appreciate all the support to the channel and for what I do. And if you learn something about jerseys or hats or whatever while watching this, that's great. I do also want to do something, and I don't know. It's gonna be a project. Some time ago during COVID, I think it was 2020, maybe 2020 into 2021. I did a series where I showed all the collection basically, right? I went rack by rack. Each video was a rack of jerseys and kind of showing this is what I have. It's been a few years, and it is one of those things I'd like to keep up with. Because one of the things about this channel is it is kind of an archive of the collection, obviously. When I get stuff, I'm showing it. Here's this new pickup, whatever, right? But it is a way to archive the collection. since I'm lazy and I don't take pictures. And post it on Instagram, which was the original reason I got on Instagram, and the lazies took over and I stopped. Um, but the cool thing about YouTube is you can use it as an outlet for that kind of thing too. And to this day, some of those videos are like my most viewed videos. Like, I mean, we're talking 20 plus thousand views on some of these. It's just amazing to me. I got comments today about one of those videos, one of the NBA, the one that seems to be that got into the YouTube algorithm the most is the one where I'm showing all the newer run, China, Vietnam, Mitchell Ness jerseys on the one rack. That one has gotten more views than any other video that I've ever done. And it's a collection video. I mean, I'm showing them one by one. This is it, this is it, this is it. And I mean, they have become very, very much viewed. I'm not one of those that worries too much about the views. I'm never going to be a partner. I'm never going to, go into that with YouTube. It's just, I'm just not going to do that. I don't really look at it that way. But I noticed with those, yeah, I mean, those get a ton of attention, right? I'm not doing it for the views, but I'm doing it basically to kind of, okay, the last time I did it was back in 2020, 21. I've since added a lot, to it. So let me go back and let me kind of, redo the showing of the collection vids where I'll do one rack of video, right? This is all for this rack, just do it one at a time to kind of catalog what I have to that point. And I'm thinking towards the end of the year, because, you talk about end of the year, December, maybe even into January, because everything's kind of everything kind of starts over, right? So it's a nice kind of time of the year to kind of do something like that, where now we're looking towards another year, and okay, this is what I have as of, I don't know, sometime in January probably, where that series will end in 2024. And then maybe every 4 or 5 years going forward, I'll just continue to do that, and just as a way to catalog what I have to that point. Now, is every single jersey in my collection going to be shown? No. I mean, there's stuff that I have packed away, swingman jerseys, replica jerseys. Not going to show those. I mean, they're just the run-of-the-mill stuff. So I'm more interested in, okay, this is the Mitchell Ness collection. Here's the authentics I have, the vintage stuff I have, and going, so forth and so on. And of course, some of the newer stuff too. The Nike, the Adidas, Reebok, what have you, of the newer run stuff as well for those different sports. But, Mitchell Ness too, old run, new run, whatever I've added throughout the years. And I know that those videos are very popular and people seem to really enjoy them. I enjoyed doing it back then. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work to do it, and I'm up there and some of the months I chose to do it were kind of interesting. It was kind of hot up there. So there's another reason why I'm waiting until we get to December in January, where I know it's not going to, I'm still going to get hot. It just happens. Right, I get hot in the shade, but at least it's not going to be like whatever degrees up there, and I'm showing one jersey at a time. Here's the other one, and I'm just a melting mess at the end of the video. So I will do that when we get towards the end of the year and into January. It's going to be a big project. Again, kind of rehashing the collection again. And I'm not doing it to brag or, I'm the best at this. No, I'm doing it so that I have it cataloged. This is what I have. And if people enjoy it, people like seeing it. It's a bit of a history tour, too, with a lot of these old run jerseys. But that's basically the reason I did it before. And it was COVID, too, and not much else was going on. So I'm like, all right, well, let me do this. But I would like to do it again. I know it's a bit repetitive with some of the jerseys, but again, it's part of the collection. I'm not just going to leave them out, I can't just go back and say, okay, well, these are the ones I showed back in 2020. We're going to keep those out. We're only going to show... No. There's too many that got intermixed. It would be almost impossible for me to do that. So I'm going to show them all again as we get to the holidays, so probably sometime after Thanksgiving, and I'm guessing it's probably going to go on until, January at some point. there's just a lot to show. I mean, there's a lot of racks, to go through. So, but I'll do that. And my plan here also is I ordered 2 more Z bottom racks from Amazon. So all the football jerseys are going to go down here in the man cave. I have 1 rack already up. That's been there for a while. I'll have the other 2. 1 rack will just have authentics, and then the other one will have the rest of most of the rest of the Mitchell and Ness. There's some I'm still keeping upstairs, but most of the rest of the Mitchell and Ness will be here. So those racks will be shown. I'm looking at 3 other racks over here. We got the Phillies rack. We got the non-Phillies authentic baseball rack. We have the Flyers and other jerseys rack. And then you got the closets, in here. The Eagles closet, the big double door closet of all the overflow for the Phillies, and the Sixers and other Philly basketball related jerseys, which I don't think I ever showed. I think those got lost in translation when I was doing those other vids. But so the goal again is to do all of it and to show the complete collection again as what I have to that point. And basically, more than anything else, to catalog it. If people enjoy it, people watch it, great. I'm happy for that. I'm happy people enjoyed the first batch I did years ago. And I mean, I tell you, it is really, like I said today, I got 2 comments from a video I made back in 2020, I believe. But I'm glad people enjoy it. This is why I do it, and this is why I don't make videos private. I could do this. Believe me, I could do that series and make it private just for me. But I like to share. I like people seeing it. If it brings people joy, if they see jerseys they never thought were made, that's awesome, right? It is. It's in a way, it is kind of museum-esque, but if it's something that people enjoy, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy sharing it. So, my collection is anyone's to see. And I'm an open book. I've always done it that way. I'm not just going to, it's just I don't want anyone knowing what I have, seeing what I have. I like people seeing it. I like I'm proud of what I have. It's been an odyssey for almost 20 years of collecting, and it just continues. There is no end game in sight. So, I enjoy doing this. This is what I do. And I'm happy that people enjoy it, because it's a passion of mine, and that's what I do. It's like my buddy and boss, Matt, he does all this stuff with the cocktail drinks, right? That's his thing, right? But he wanted to do something for that group, and I'm glad people enjoyed that video. It's different than anything else on my site. But he asked me to help, with that and show some jerseys from the NFC East teams, and so I did, and we had a lot of fun with that video, and that was a fun video to put together. So for his NFC Beast cocktail group, so I know it was something different. People were like, "What's this?" But it was fun, and I was glad to help him out with that. So, and people seemed to enjoy it. So that was fun. It's like I said, you never know what you're going to see on this channel. You just never know. That's why you got to keep hitting those like buttons. That's why you got to make sure to hit the bell icon after you subscribe if you haven't already done so. And we'll see what we come up with next, right? I think the next vid will be the jersey pickups. I'll do the recap for tonight's game as well for the Season of the Fan series. And then as we hit the next week, we're going to try to do another Ross vlog perhaps, another weekend review from Fanatics and Mitchell and Ness. As well towards the end of the week, and then we'll keep rolling into whatever it is, another Season of the Fan. The Eagles don't play again after tonight until next month or the following Monday night, so we have a little bit of a break in between. That's just how they do it for the teams that play on Thursday night, right? So there's that, but we'll just take it one vid at a time. Maybe at some point we'll do a vehicle vlog. You just never know, right? So keep the eyes peeled on the channel, and I will see you in the next one. I'm going to go for now. I blabbed on for an hour, so I think we're at a good stopping point here. But just want a couple things, couple of in-house deals with the channel. I wanted to talk a little about what to look forward to as we almost get into 2024. It's still unbelievable to me that we're less than 4 months away from another year starting. That's pretty crazy. But hope everything's going well for all of you. Thank you again for all the support to the channel, and I'll see you around again very soon. All right.